Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My subscribers on YouTube, my peeps on Facebook, and the people at RetroRareTV.com. This is the DOUG here for another video game review, and this time I am reviewing, as it says in the title, God help me, WCW Mayhem. Now, WCW Mayhem is a professional wrestling video game, by Electronic Arts, which shares its name with World Championship Wrestling pay-per-view event. The first WCW game produced by EA. It was released for the PlayStation and Nintendo 64 in 1999, and for the Game Boy Color in 2000, April. Came to North America August 31st, respectively. Europe would get the game as well in 99 on the PlayStation 1 and on the Game Boy. Now, the game features several firsts for a wrestling title. For instance, Mayhem was the first game to feature all 12 WCW pay-per-view venues, as well as the 3 major TV shows, Nitro, Thunder, and Saturday Night. Mayhem was also the first wrestling game released in the United States to include backstage area, believe it or not, which I could be wrong on that, but I'm not going to test it. A feature which would be expanded upon in its sequel, Backstage Assault, which I've already reviewed. It's also one of the first wrestling games to indicate audio commentary provided by Bobby the Brain Heenan and Tony Schiavone, although only Schiavone was included in the 64 version, despite some of his lines being addressed directly to Heenan. The game was originally going to be the first story-based wrestling video game. This idea, however, was later abandoned due to time restraints. Mayhem was also featured a pay-per-view mode, believe it or not, which was unique from other wrestling games in that the player could enter a code to unlock real-life pay-per-view match lineups. These codes would be given on Monday Nitro broadcasters the week before a pay-per-view. However, this only lasted about 3 or 4 months, ending, ironically enough, at the pay-per-view Mayhem, as the game's roster was outdated soon after its release. Several of the featured wrestlers leaving the company. The game was partly sponsored by Surge soft drinks at the time of the game's release. Now, after failing to match, now some background here, after failing to match the success of WCW's video games amidst the Monday Night Wars, I'll let the cutscene play before I continue talking. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how Ryback was born. Yeah, stupid opening. Anyway, like I was saying, missed the Monday Night Wars. WCW's main competition, the WWF at the time, now known as WWE, ended a 12-year relationship with Acclaim Entertainment by deflecting to THQ. Not wishing to share game publishers with its competitor, WCW ended its successful run of THQ titles by teaming up with Electronic Arts in 1999. Mayhem's working title was WCW/NWO Mayhem, as evidenced by early photographs featuring wrestlers wearing shirts with an Auto Mayhem logo. By the way, I will be telling you about a cheat code if you want to unlock all the wrestlers coming up. And the game was promoted for months on WCW TV, including a counter which appeared on programs such as Nitro and Thunder, counting down the days, hours, minutes, and seconds to Mayhem's release on August 31st, 1999. A clip was even shown of Goldberg's character in a house environment spurring someone through a wall, but the move and the house area were not seen in the final game. A sequel to this game was to be titled WCW Mayhem 2 and was planned for release on the PlayStation 2 in 2001. However, that was supposed to be developed by AKI Corporation, the developers of acclaimed WCW and WWF titles for the Nintendo 64. However, due to WCW being bought out by WWF at the time, the game's development was cancelled. Now, Iga, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, would instead develop Def Jam Vendetta for the next generation of consoles. Work in WCW Mayhem 2 began mainly in response to the failure of Backstage Assault. Now, this secret I'm going to tell you about is going to help you unlock all the wrestlers. But note, you cannot save. You'll have to put this code in every time, unless you want to do it the old-fashioned way, and I'll explain how you can get them all the old-fashioned way, which is a pain in the ass. But let's just use the cheat codes right now. P, L, and then we have Mr. Good Old HD, which ironically enough I'm playing on an HD TV, go figure. N, that's not an N, that's an H. N, GYS. G, oh wait, I think I screwed up. G, PLH, D, N, G, YS. Yeah, I screwed up. Hold on. PLH, PL. Whoops. Yeah, that was my fault. I forgot it's PLY. So I just had everything off by one letter. So let's try that again. S. Now that will unlock the hidden wrestlers, but please note you have to enter that every time. Now to unlock them, normally you play Quest for the Best, which is, how can I describe Quest for the Best? Quest for the Best pretty much is the and I mean this nicely, is where you would unlock most of the wrestlers and all of that. You know, it's pretty much there, you know, where you can win the Cruiserweight, the US, and the WCW World title. Now, of course, there's a lot of loading, and that's all that. Now, the great feature in this mode, if you remember it from Backstage Assault, yeah, it's just the same. And the crate mode's nothing to talk about. So we're not going to even bring up the crate mode in this one, because the crate mode in this game sucks. Period. The one in, you know, I would say probably the one in Backstage Assault's a little better, but that's because it's somewhat decent. But the greater feature in this one, sucks. Again, my humble opinion. Of course, we don't care about the demo. You're going to see me play a match. Yeah. Now, one thing that is wrong with this game that I will say that was probably decent with Backstage Assault, it had the at least a mini Titantron for the select wrestler you selected. This one does not. It comes out like on the a little bit of the N64. They walk out to the ring. Main event, which will be where you quick start pretty much it just throws you in a match. You don't know who you're playing as. And you got singles, handicap, triangle, four-way dance, battle royal, tag team, and singles. You can have any limit, and you can have any arena. And with it being December, Why not go to Starcade? And we're going to play it on easy because the AI is difficult. Now for match rules, you can have pinfall anywhere, weapons, match. No DQ, Ravens rules, or none. We're going to have pinfall anywhere. Rope breaks we don't need in. We will have run-ins in case somebody decides to run in. So let's go to 1 versus CPU, and here you can see how bad the wrestlers look. That's Bill Goldberg, children. Don't look a thing like him. He looks more polygon. Now, of course, in this you have Goldberg, Sting, DDP, Randy Savage, Booker T, Rick Steiner, Bret Hart. By the way, some of these are locked. Buff Bagwell, Conan, Ernest the Cat Miller, Kurt Hennig, Barry Windham, Bobby Duncan Jr., Kenny Chaos, Norman Smiley, Raph, Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, and Bobby Eaton. I guarantee you that's a name that a lot of people are going to be like, huh? And Bobby Blaze. Question, who the fuck is Bobby Blaze? Could somebody let me know that? Of course, in black and white, because they were separated by fucking groups. I got Horace Hogan, Scott Norton, Stevie Ray, and Eric Bischoff. In the Wolfpack, you got Hogan, Steiner, Kevin Nash, Luger, Scott Hall, Disco Inferno, and Wolfpack Sting. In the Horsemen, you got Flair, Arn Anderson, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, and Steve Mongo McMichael. In the Cruiserweight, you got Ray without his mask. Thank you, WCW. Kidman, Eddie, Juventud Guerrera, Chris Jericho, which is funny, because he was already in WWE at this point. Psychosis, Chavo Guerrero Jr., La Parka, the chairman, Alex Wright, Kazuhashi, Lash Wulu, there's a name somebody put, Liz Monk Jr., Prince Ayakea. Another guy who most people probably don't remember. And in the hardcore division, just the things get weird. You have Raven, Saturn, Bam Bam Bigelow, Canyon, Mean Gene Oakland. What the fuck did he do to get put in this? Sonny Ono, Doug Dillinger, Jimmy Hart. And then the rest of the ones, you know, where if you created somebody. So yeah. But for this one, we may as well be the first undisputed champion, Chris Jericho. And he would take on somebody I've been wanting to beat up for a long time, Steve Mongo McMichael, because Steve Mongo McMichael was a bum, in my humble opinion, in the wrestling business. Had no need to be in it. Now, like I said, the AI in this one is a little bit more tough than the predecessors, than Backstage Assault. Now, Mayhem is, how can I say this? Mayhem didn't sell too well because at the time, of course, SmackDown was doing well. No Mercy, all that. Mayhem really was wrong place, wrong time. If it would have been a year or two before, I think it would have been okay, but it did not do well. Critics panned it, mostly because, like I said earlier, and I just said, most of the roster in this game was irrelevant by that point because most of them were gone. Powerbomb. And the pause, and all you gotta do if you want to look at the menu, and I'm gonna turn it down because the reason I'm turning it down is because after about 2 minutes, it just Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan just keep repeating the same fucking thing. So just imagine you're commentating with your buddy. Now, of course, as you can see, the AI is Nick. And Powerbomb! Bump. And a shoulder breaker, which I don't remember Jericho ever doing a shoulder breaker in WCW. By the the way, the hit detection is bad on this. And, you know, I'd probably say it's probably better than a backstage assault, but that ain't saying much. You know. And there's the other. Like I said, hit detection's bad, children. It's very bad. Yeah, he just punched him to knock him down, children. Backbreaker. Let's see if I can do this time. Yay, that worked. Ow. And he just did something. And headbutt to the dick. Now, believe it or not, this game does hold a special place because for most people, this is probably was one of the last WCW games you got unless you were crazy enough to get Backstage Assault like I did. So yeah, there's that. And Death Valley Drive. He just ripped off Perry Saturn, children. See, Jericho invented it. Oh. Lion Tamer. And yeah, the ref doesn't, you don't even get to see him tap out. It's pretty much like that. So, the audio in the game that I did have, it's decent, but it repeats, and the theme music you really can't hear too well, and you really can't hear Mean Gene Okerlund too well. And I mean, I had the TV up on high, and you still couldn't hear him to a certain extent, and I even have it in the options, they're high as well, and you can't hear him. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, the AI, even on easy, the AI can beat you. Best case scenario, the best way I can tell you this is in the Battle Royal. Because the AI, 9 times out of 10, will team up on you. Yeah, keep that in mind. Now, you can get this relatively cheap. I only paid about, because I got this in a bundle with a bunch of other PS1 and Sega Gen games, which I will probably be doing a video of that and which ones I picked up, so you'll probably see this one mentioned again, and I will probably talk about the cover on that, the CD, what the CD looks like, but if I don't, I'm going to talk about it here. The cover, as many of you know, is the Go Above, but the CD has Sting on it, so go fucking figure. At the end of the day, WCW Mayhem is a nice trip down memory lane, you know, back when it was a different era in sport, different era, but it's again one of the games where I cannot recommend it unless you're a die-hard wrestling fan, because if you're not, you're probably not going to find enjoyment in this. So, WCW Mayhem for the PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64, and the Game Boy Color gets a 2 out of 5, and if you notice with almost all the WCW games I've done, Nitro, Thunder, now Mayhem, and Backstage Assault, they've all got low scores. There's only one good WCW game that ever came out for the PlayStation 1. Now, I do own that one, but my copy don't work anymore, and that's WCW versus The Ward. I'm going to try to find another one at MagFest this year. If I can, I'm going to buy it, and you will definitely see me review that, and you'll probably see me give that one a good score, if it's as good as I recall. Now, other than that, this has been Doug, the DOUG, here for WCW Mayhem Backstage. Oh God, I almost want to say WCW Mayhem for the PlayStation 1 and all the other systems. So until next time, this is the DOUG signing off, saying have a good day and enjoy your week. Woo! Da da da. And oh, by the way, Norman Smiley, do the wiggle, baby. Woo!